Hello and welcome back to our second unit, which is all about becoming edgy. We will draw a lot of different polygons and make our first custom blocks. For today's video, we need a lot of the blocks from the pen category. The most important ones is the clear block that we already used in the last video, and then the pen down and pen up blocks. If I click the pen down, it will put the pen down and everything that the sprite moves will be drawn. So for example, I move 10 steps and it should draw a gray line. If I put the pen up again, it will stop drawing. If I put the pen down again, it will draw again. Other blocks that we can use from this category is the set pen color block, where we can choose the pen color from our color picker. So for example, my favorite color is green. I pick green. Now you can see that the sprite is green. And if I start drawing now, it will also draw a green line. If you want to use the change pen color block, it will travel through all the colors that on the shade that you started here. So now I'm here at the green area, and I will go through all these colors from left to right by changing the pen color. We can do that just to check. I start with green. Now you can see when I click the change pen color that the color of my sprite changes accordingly. Also, you can set the pen color by just adding a number. For example, red is 0. If I click set pen color to 0, it will be red. I can also change the pen size. So if I don't want to make these super small, super thin lines, I can change the pen size. Now it's 3. Because I clicked twice. If I move the sprite now, it draws a thicker line. I can also say I want to set the pen size to 10, for example. If I move now, it will draw a really thick red line. We already used the stamp block, and there's also a fill block in the pen category that you can try out later. So now we want to go and start drawing polygons. I will just open a new project. So my script area is clear again. So for a polygon or for a square, we first need to put the pen down so we can draw, and then we need to move and we need to turn. For a square, we need to turn a square angle, which is 90 degrees, and we will also move a bigger number of steps because we want to see what we're drawing. So if I click that now, it will draw a line and then turn the sprite. So now I have the one line. I need 3 more, so I will just duplicate that and duplicate that. So I did the same thing, move 100, turn 90 4 times. I clear the stage, and that should give me a square now. Great, works. As you see, we are doing the exact same operation, move and turn 4 times. So we can just use the repeat 4 block and put the move and the turn inside that. Also put the pen down again. And let's try it. This should make the exact same square again. Great. We just assume that this is the square. Now, squares are my absolutely favorite geometric shape, so I want to make a block that can draw me squares over and over again, so I don't have to copy that script. To make a custom block, you have 3 different opportunities. You can either click the plus sign, or you can click make a block on the bottom of the palette, or you can right-click the stage and say make a block. I want my block to be in the pen category because it's going to be a drawing block, and I will call it square. I want the block to be a command, and I also want to have it available for all sprites. If I hit OK now, I will get to the block editor, which I can program exactly like the normal script area. Only you need to take care that your script is attached to the square block. You already see that I have the square block here, but it doesn't do anything yet because I didn't program anything in here. So now I want the block to draw squares, so I can just drag that script that I made for the squares inside the block editor and click apply if I want to save the script and want to keep the block editor open, or I can click OK if I want to save it and close the block editor. So now let's try our new square block. Works. Let's try it. Move, go to random position and draw some squares. I will just click that. There's something I forgot. We need to put the pen up again so it stops drawing when the square is done. Let's try that now. Works. Okay, maybe I also want to draw squares that are not just size 100, but maybe I want to draw a square with size 25. So for that, I need to add an input to my square block. I can just go to the square block, right-click and say Edit, and add an input to my square head block by clicking this plus sign here. If I click it, I get to the input dialog, and I can choose here if it should be an input or if I want to do more title text. In this case, I want to have an input for the size. So I will just write size here and say OK. Now I got this input slot. If I click Apply, you can see that my square block now has an input. I wanted to draw a square with size 25. Now it still will draw a square with size 100 because that's what I coded in here. But if I say go always the number of steps that is the input here, then it will move the number of steps that I added here as an input. If I click OK now, it should also draw squares in different sizes. Let's try that. 25. Let's also try 50. Great. Let's try 100. That was the original one. Let's try 500. Great. OK, that works. So now I have a block that can draw squares in different sizes. We will keep that for later and clear the stage. The next thing we want to do is maybe I don't only want to draw squares, but I also like hexagons or triangles. So I want to do different sided polygons. Let's start with a triangle. At first, we go put the pen down. Then same thing, we repeat something, we move, and we turn. So for a square, which has 4 sides, we repeat 4 times. So for a triangle, which has 3 sides, we of course repeat 3 times. Then we move. Let's do 100 again. And then we turn. For a triangle, you need to turn 120 degrees. And if I click that now, it should draw me a triangle. Great. What about a hexagon? So for a triangle, I need to repeat 3 times. For a square, which has 4 sides, I need to repeat 4 times. So for a hexagon, I just duplicate the script, say repeat 6 times, and turn half the degrees that you did for the triangle, because I have the double amount of sides now. So I say repeat 6 and turn 60. This should give me a hexagon. So you see where that leads us to. We repeat 3 and turn 120 for the triangle. For the square, we did 4 and 90. For the hexagon, we did 6 and 60. That's always 360. So the full circle divided by the number of sides that we have here. So let's make a block out of that can draw us polygons with any number of sides that we want. So we go to the pen category and click plus to make a new block, which we call polygon. Also, again, it's a command available for all sprites. And then we hit OK and get to the block editor. So for our polygon block, we want to put the pen down at the beginning. Then we want to repeat something. And then we want to put the pen up at the end. And again, we want to move. And we want to turn. The important thing now is that we get an input for the number of sides that our polygon should have. So I click here again to get an input, and I call it sides. And now I always want to repeat the number of sides. So if I want to draw a triangle polygon, I add 3 here as an input, and then I say repeat 3 times, which is the number of sides. And then I say turn 360 divided by the number of sides that you have. Okay, let's try that. Our new block is in the pen. So I will clear the stage and we will get a super small square now, for example, because the size is only 10. We could also do a octagon or a duodecagon or whatever polygon you like. That's kind of nice, but now we also want to do polygons with different sides and different size. So we already know how we make blocks with different sizes. So we right-click the polygon and say Edit and add another input slot for the size. If you see the polygon block now, you see that it has 2 inputs, but if you never used the block or you didn't write it yourself, you don't know which input field is which input. So you don't know which one is the sides and which one is the size. So we will just expand the title text of our block by clicking the plus sign and say title text. So the first one is the sides. So I will just add that here. And the second one is the size. So I will add that here and click apply now. And now you know polygon with sides. Sides is the first input and size is the second input. So with the square, we did it like exactly the same. So we take the size from here and say always move as many steps as we added as an input in the size input field here. Let's click OK. And then we try a triangle with size 100 or a square with size 50, or let's do a heptagon with size 12. Okay, that looks like it works, which is great. So now we can do some polygon edgy art with it. I will just clear my stage again, or my script area again, so we can start new. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we want to do a random polygon picture that draws us polygons with random size, random number of sides, on a random position with a random color and random pen size, and we want to repeat that all over. So what we're going to do is first we take the repeat and say repeat maybe 100 times, and then we want to repeat the polygon drawing. To do things randomly, we have that pick random block here, which picks random numbers between these two boundaries. So if I say pick random 1 to 10, it will pick any random number between 1 to 10, so 5, 3. But I can also say 1 to, I don't know, 2000. Now it will pick numbers between 1 and 2000, or I can say pick numbers between 2 or 3. Then it will either be 2 or 3. So you can use that block to pick random numbers. So if we want to do random number of sides, we probably start with 3 because a triangle is the first real shape. And then we say let's do triangles to octagons in size, I don't know, maybe 10 to 50. And then we always want to go to a random position. And then we want to pick a random pen color. So here you see I really like green and blue. Green is something like 30-ish, and blue is something like 70-ish when here's 0 and here's 100. So we say set the pen color to any random number between 30 and 70. And then we also want to set the pen size randomly. So we say set the pen size to a random number between 1 and 5. And then we can add, when the green flag hit, click head block, and we can go to full screen and try that. So now it will draw automatically these 100 polygons in different sizes, with different sides, in different positions. You can also see that the pen size is differently. But that kind of takes a long time because it's drawing line by line. and we can use the warp block to increase the speed of that. So the warp block takes care that everything that should be drawn is calculated first, and then the drawing is done in the end, and this is faster than just draw line by line. So we can just wrap the warp block around our script and also pick something more brighter in the beginning. And then we can clear the stage and do the same thing again. And now you see that it's a lot faster than it was before because it's drawing one polygon at a time and not line by line. And somehow everything looks better when the background is dark. So we can go to the stage and go to backgrounds here and draw us a black background by clicking the fill thing here and choose black as a color, and then just click it and hit OK, and now you have a black background, and you can see that it looks really cool. So that was it for week 1, unit 2. In the next unit, I will tell you more about spirals. See you soon.